Welcome back, folks, to more OQ Swiss Stage number 2 coverage from CCGs. We're following along at one of the Titan teams here when it comes to the qualifier tournament, but they did suffer a loss, which does mean they're now in the 2-1 bracket, and they're facing off against a team that is certainly riding high, kind of like how they had to take on the 1-0 CU Black yesterday. Clown Gaming, 20th seed. They are 2-1, and they are now knocking on the door of locking in a GSL spot themselves up against our faithful CCG.
Yeah, Clown Gaming coming up here facing off against the number 3 seed as the, like you said, Slayer, the 20th seed. So a little bit of a Cinderella story into the making here for this Clown Gaming squadron of a lot of players that a bunch of people do not know, right? Yao Yao Diamonds, Frozen Titan, Paragon Silver. These are relatively new players to the scene that, unless you're heavily indulged into the tier 3 scene yourself, you probably haven't seen around. So this is kind of the beauty of OQs, right? A random team with players that are on the more unknown side can really come in at any point in time and just potentially make an upset over a top team. But I think for CCG, now they have realized their own mortality. They realize that they have the ability to lose games after such a dominant day one. They open up with a loss, like you said, Slayer. So I think they're looking at this game. They're going to go back to basics in this one. They're going to say what worked. We'll repeat our same success and just make sure that we can secure the top 16 because it is only one win for both of these teams. Salvation is just one victory screen away for both CCG and Clown Gaming.
And also, one loss puts you in a really, really precarious situation,
Yup.
especially if you're CCG here. If we're going off the seedings of the polls, obviously the committee deemed that Clown Gaming's roster was not good enough to make it to that GSL stage. CCG, you're number 3 seed. Like, you got to make the GSL stage at the very least. But before we get into those conversations, let's go ahead and look over the draft here. Throw that one up on your guys' screens, and the players did not decide to name their sides this time round. Don't worry, fortunate viewers. That's why we're here to help you out. It's actually CCG's first red side draft here. So Cloud Gaming is on that blue side. And boy, have they picked some fun picks. I see that Darius Fiora matchup in the top lane. Oh boy.
Yep, that is going to be a very interesting match and probably the one we're going to be looking at in this game number 2. And, you know, while we're on the topic of top laners, right, we've talked a lot about Crimson. Let's talk a little bit about Clown Gaming's top laner, though, Yao Yao. A lot of people have been hyping this player up. Apparently, he had a good OQ day 1 and overall performed very nicely. So this player could potentially match Crimson in aggression, especially on a champion like Darius that is known to want to fight, brings Ghost Flash, goes in for the early kills, and just decides to be a lane bully. And against Crimson, who has been doing basically all of the bullying in all the games CCG have had so far, that'll definitely be an interesting sight.
Certainly can be. And we see that once again, you have this superstar jungler from Yukino, who played a lot of carry-oriented champions. He went on to the Maokai last game. Now he's on the Sejuani, so still on the tank duty here to see if they can get some success with Yukino in that aspect. You have the Hui, like you were talking about, Kaisa Nautilus, a lot of dive ability. There's a lot of straightforwardness to both of these drafts, a lot of skirmish ability in a couple of these lanes, and I'm going to keep it short to the point this time, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to hop right into the game already as we are set to see which one of these teams is punching their ticket to the GSL stage.
Yep, one more game will do it for both of them. Both teams riding high on the momentum, just trying to look for salvation. And yeah, you can already see Clown Gaming, they're looking to maybe look for a cheese level 1. They have grouped up into this bot lane, potentially going to try and bully out Yukino early on. But it doesn't look like CCG are suspecting anything on the red team. They have gone for full 5-point defense. So if an invade happens, it's just going to be EU red against the world.
Oh boy. They're popping up. All right, I thought one of them was going to pop out of that tri-brush. They don't. So it's a back off. Actually coming across here for Clown Gaming. Do get a look at some of these summoner choices here. If an Ezreal's in the game, you know Slayer's not going to shut up about it. Paragon on the Ezreal in this one. Does go with the Conqueror. Like that a bit more in this game because you're going to likely, like every Ezreal does, have to mostly front to back. Your playstyle is that way, and You're going to have to try and get through a Nautilus and a Sejuani who you will constantly be able to get spells and auto attacks off of. So the Conqueror is very beneficial here in this one. Anything else sticking out to you, though, as we see just everybody kind of fan out to their lanes normally, Quacks?
Yeah, absolutely. The Ignite coming on for Crimson on this Fiora, really spelling that both of these top laners, they're going to be looking to fight. They're going to be looking to say, hey, jungler, come over to my lane as soon as humanly possible. I have aggressive summoner spells, and you're going to want to juice me up, and you can already tell that that's going to be the case. You can see Yukino starting on that bot side, going to most likely be pathing up to this top lane. But I wonder, though, is he going to be looking for a 3-camp into gank? This is an incredibly volatile match that can go sideways very quickly on either side. So I would imagine you want to get up here as soon as possible. And that applies for both junglers too, right? I think Diamonds is probably thinking the exact same thing with this Darius pick.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Is bot side, we do see level 2 come across the Paragon and company. They do get the Braum stunned. Great hook, though, from Trevor away. Stop the damage coming across. Back to that point, though, it's funny, right? We talked about the other day, Quacks. There are a lot of champions level 1 that you have to just kind of sack wave to. Darius is one of them. Funnily enough, Fiora is a good one at matching it, and that's why I feel like we haven't seen that classic level 1 all-in from Yao Yao's Darius, because Fiora does give that respect, especially when piloted by Crimson.
I agree. I think that Fiora is really good at sort of matching the aggression of Darius early on, you know, kind of being a good old stop sign to the Darius for pushing, can punish over aggression on Darius heavily, make him maybe even burn a summoner early on. And Fiora's really good at getting away from certain plays like that, just having so much mobility with the dashes, and it gets better as the game goes on with how low cooldown that Q can be, right? So Fiora's good at sort of baiting Darius into going over aggressive. And speaking of going aggressive, you can see Yukino on that top side, but we're focused on a bot lane fight.
Yeah, Paragon Arcade shifting forward once more.
He's
That auto is
ignited.
gonna make the Ignite go through for first blood. EU Red falls. The first time CCG surrendering first blood all OQs long.
And now he burned the flash as well. EU Red on this Kai'Sa for the next 5 minutes is gonna have a bad time. Those concussive blows are gonna be such a major threat to this Kai'Sa, who opted not to go for the cleanse. So there is just a chance, at least until that summoner comes back up, for this Kai'Sa just get simply locked down from the CC, from this Braum. So we'll have to wait and see if Yukino can sort of bail this lane out, but for now, he's on the top side. Both junglers are on the top side, and we could look for a potential 2v2.
Lane gate getting set up here for Yukino. Crimson already getting a ton of the hemorrhage stacks. Gets the full... Oh, he actually parries it away, and Yukino's here, but a flash Q gets some healing for Yao Yao, but Crimson finds the parry point, finds the kill, but it got close.
Good attempt there from Yao Yao. I like the flash. He got the Q heal off, but unfortunately, the root coming out from Sejuani also managed to connect, and now Diamond's potentially looking for a kill. Crimson doesn't have flash.
Yep, good dash at first. Damon's going to follow, flashes himself. Crimson trying to hit the parry points. Rapace doesn't get anything done, and Damon's punishes Crimson's overstay in the top side. And mid lane, Falcon, there's not enough damage in that Karma kit.
Yeah, I mean, Karma probably going to have to wait for the Malignants to get those Oppenheimer nuclear one-shots later on in the game. But for now, a fight in the bot lane against Silver.
Silver doesn't have the shield up and dies to Ignite there. Good pickup on that one. Good hook as well. Paragon synced in. EU Red has Lethal Temple going. Flash for the root, but it's not close enough. Paragon going to limp out. Void Seeker goes wide.
Love the aggression coming out there from Trevor, punishing the over-aggression from Silver, who just went way too far up. Paragon was in no position to follow up for that 2v2 fight. They punish him, they get a kill. It does go on to Trevor, though, so not the ideal target you want that gold to go to, but a kill is a kill. And in bot lane, who has been struggling ever since that kill onto EU Red, it is much needed.
Yeah, funnily enough, both kills in the bottom lane have been the supports Ignites grabbing them so far, which is very intriguing. We are even in kill count, though, here, 2-2 out the gate. And this game does kind of have shades of the last one for CCG. Early kind of lead here for Crimson. Bottom lane just a bit behind. And, well, we know how that story ended up against a much more formidable opponent. Falcon also did die early on in the mid lane. Getting pushed down. We see a ultimates come across top side. Yao Yao, he's just dead. Gets a good heal across, but the Grand Challenge heal sinks through, and Crimson has himself another.
Crimson manages to get the kill, but you can see on those Void Grubs, it's Diamonds, and now Silver roaming up toward those grubs to make sure to get them. So a kill going over to CCG, but it is grubs and an objective going the way of Clown Gaming. Honestly, if I had to put like a who's it worth, I would say that that's about an even trade, as Yao Yao has been pushing up in this lane quite a bit on this Darius, so will now be able to get some more plates with that added bonus of the Touch of the Void being active. But yeah, a kill, another one going over to Crimson.
And I'm a big fan of what Clown Gaming is doing. I believe that Ezreal is one of, if not the best weak side AD carries to play on. You know, obviously It's nice to get kills in lane and have that pressure with the range, but in the new Season 14, with how much value you get on the map, speaking of that, Dragon is going to go over to Yukino, as you can see in CCG. So roaming supports is great alongside Ezreal, so great recognition from Clown Gaming here, letting Silver get out there. Paragon, you can see, did a great job CSing, and that's all you can ask for when you get weak side as AD carry. Just keep up in camps, or creeps.
For sure, if you're able to keep your CS numbers relatively even with the enemy ADC, if you're able to get the goal to be at that 3-item spike by around the 25 to 30 minute mark on Ezreal, you've succeeded in being a champion, right? That's all what Ezreal is about. I'm sure you know this much better than I do, Slayer, being an Ezreal main. This champion, much more common than my main, who unfortunately Kha'Zix isn't too hot in the meta. Hasn't been hot in the meta for quite some time.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to pilot a champion who gets the good old Riot skins buff. He has too many skins to be bad at the game. That's what they do. He has 16 skins for anybody curious at home. So they just can't keep him bad in the meta for too long because they want to keep selling these skins.
Yeah, I mean, he has most of his skins are pretty good too. I would honestly say Pulsefire Ezreal is like older than me almost, I feel like, and man, that skin still holds up today. But I think me and my friends, we used to make a joke that Ezreal was the kind of guy who would say, "Where's my hug?" on the last day of school. And even years later, I feel like that analogy still holds up today.
I mean, he is a full he is a boy band e-boy now with his Hearthstone line, so you know, maybe he's that guy in the boy band. But enough talk about what we think of some of these champions. Gotta look more at this game a bit more. A slight gold lead coming across here for CCG. It's good to see them at least having a bit more pressure on the bot side after what we saw from Krakedon in that last one. Kind of just completely nullified Yukino to do anything on that side of the map. Doing a bit better of a job this time around, being a lot more whole across the rift.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it has just been all quiet on the Western front for these past couple of minutes. No objective really being taken, so I think that speaks to the level of restraint that both of these teams have not to go for those unnecessarily aggressive trades or ganks. And speaking of ganks, Diamonds is in the bot lane. You can see he wants something. He used the W to get into the bush, and they didn't see him, so this Wukong completely undetected.
Does he stick the back? No, he stops. And this is a big power point for Wukong. You get the Cyclone up. That's when you become really activated. Top side, Yukino. Might have gotten jumped off for that ward here, but yeah, I mean, you can tell everyone's just waiting. There's Glacial Fissure going after you, Red. He didn't have a chance in the world. All the knockups, the damage was far too much, and pop goes the Weasel. Paragon has another.
Beautiful patience there from Diamonds. They managed to get the kill, and they put it onto Paragon, juicing up this Ezreal some more, but now Yukino potentially looking for something.
Oh, look at the healing, though. That Mantra E, just so powerful on Karma. Gets so much health back for a Frozen Titan who was as good as dead. That whiffed ult certainly going to sting for Yukino going forward.
Yeah, good on Frozen Titan to survive there. Dodge the Glacial Prison now. Yukino does not have that one up. Grubs are also spawning quickly here, and this could potentially be 6 Grubs going the way of Clown Gaming. This would be a huge early game start for them. Unfortunately, though, Silver and a Frozen Titan both forced to recall at this time, so they're going to be later on the timer to this objective, should they choose to contest it.
Yukino really up in the grill of Diamonds, forces Yao Yao to roam down, but they're not confident in their ability to match because, like you talked about, Frozen Titan did have to back off. Sticking around here, but I see Yao Yao channeling a oh, he does cancel it. They could think about contesting these Grubs, but it looks like they're content going for a 3-3 split.
Never falter.
They don't want to risk anything, and that's completely understandable, right? Clown Gaming, they just managed to get themselves an advantage on that bot side, managed to get a kill going over to Paragon. They don't want to pull Silver away from trying to help this Ezreal out some more. Just getting vision across this bot side where they know the members of CCG are not, because we obviously see Yukino on that top side taking those grubs, which he got all 3 of. So yeah, just equaling out the gold grub count for both teams.
It's like last game. For CCG, they went even in that grub count. That Karma's starting to pack a bit of a punch already onto this Hui. And, you know, I know Hui is certainly a very powerful mid laner, but Karma still has that pretty stupid damage. Wow, look at this. Diamond's going all out for Trevor. Arcade shift over the wall. Paragon wants it. Paragon's going to get it. This aggressive Ezreal stance still working wonders for the CG AD carry.
Paragon, I love the aggression coming out from the Ezreal. I feel like we don't see enough of that from Ezreal champions. Usually they love to play the early game safe, and that's basically the extent of it. But he eases over the wall, he follows Diamond's engage, he trusts his teammate, and it ends up with them getting another kill onto this Ezreal, who we call an early game champion, but he has 2 kills. He's juiced up, but maybe in trouble here.
Oh, cancels the back. There's the killer
Yukino
instinct.
on the back.
Braum wall goes down. Paragon flashing away, still falls. Shut down to EU Red, and that stun sinks through. Silver himself having to bail out back towards his turret. Mid lane, though, Flaubcon's getting jumped on. He's just getting bursted, but it's ending up just to be a trade here. A huge double given over to EU Red's Kaisa.
EU Red, after being tormented in the early game, he gets 2 kills back, manages to even the playing field, and now there's a fight on the top side. Crimson looking for some damage, but now
everywhere.
Diamonds is in trouble.
Oh, great dredge line, Trevor. Forces the flash out of Diamonds. Yao Yao now in trouble. Likes these 3v1s if he can get those hemorrhage stacks going. Looking for the dunk, but he dunks EU Red, who had no stacks on him. Everybody bleeding to the hemorrhage, but no kills. Yao Yao just can't find the damage just yet. And Yukino is looking for the kill himself. The True Shot Barrage sinks behind, and Cloud Gaming come up with 2.
Fights going on everywhere, blood being drawn, both teams looking for the aggressive plays, and it is beautiful to see, Slayer. The game starting to break open, plates about to fall, and both teams roaming around all over the place, looking for more blood.
That could have been so much worse, though, Quacks. Yao Yao barely messed up the Darius combo. I've seen it before. You get the hemorrhage stacks, you get the passive on the tanks, and then you flash after the carry, but he didn't land an auto to get the hemorrhage stacks. He just straight up dunked, and it didn't have enough damage for the reset. That would have been so much more bloody if that combo was just a little bit better.
A little bit unfortunate there for Yao, but what isn't unfortunate is CCG managing to get that dragon. They're typing to the bot lane of Clown Gaming. Thank you for the leash. And it'll be 2 dragons going the way of the CCG squad. Mountain Dragon will be our soul of the game. And I gotta tell you, I still think that this is the most broken soul. So both teams gonna heavily contest around this bot side to try and get them in the future.
Oh, Flaubcon, the root's going to come across, drops his Spyler in despair, but he's dead. Diamonds is going to be safe, and the fighting barrage just continues. Death charge down, Silver has to Glacial Fissure behind him to keep himself safe. Killer instinct forward, EU Red knows Silver has no shield. He's 1 auto from death, and EU Red will grab it. Dredge line hits Paragon, who has to fight his way out, gets the shutdown.
Paragon?
1 versus 2, but here comes Yukino to save the day, shuts him down before he can grab another trade sinks through. But we're not done just yet, folks. Frozen Titan now in the bottom lane. Likes his odds with that Malignance, gets the roots. The Mantra Qs are so powerful right now. Trevor and Yukino have no chance. 1 versus 2. Titan looking for another root. Dredge line will make sure this Karma can't scale up any further.
They managed to get out, but the damage on this Malignance Karma is insane. You cannot underestimate how much damage this champion can do, and it is no wonder that they decided to blind pick this champion B1 here because of how reliable it is. A Frozen Titan going to be such a difficult source of damage to deal with as this game progresses, because we haven't really talked about it, but there is a lot of peel with Silver and Diamonds. And speaking of Diamonds, he's looking for a play on the top side.
Diamond pops out of nowhere. Big riposte, but the pull comes through for Yao Yao, and Crimson falls. Diamonds popping out of every bush and creating so well for Clown Gaming.
Beautiful hold there from Yao Yao. They managed to work around the parry. They get to kill onto Crimson, and now with the numbers advantage, they're going to look straight onto this Herald. And I don't think CCG can contest this. They don't have a blast plant to work with. It will be spotted on a ward. But yeah, Yukino also doesn't have the flash, so that would be a one-way trip. Gonna just go over to Clown Gaming. They get a kill, they get a Herald. That is classic League of Legends and great macro from the Clown Gaming squad right there.
We saw last game, CCG utilize an amazing Herald to grab themselves 2 turrets. We'll see what Clown Gaming can do at this time round. We got into that 16, 17-minute point where it means itemization check is always fun to do. We didn't talk too much about it. EU Red is on that lethal tempo, excuse me. Kaisa, that's the Kraken Slayer, so this is a scaling Kaisa. It's certainly going to be a threat, but so is Paragon, both those ADs with 4 kills apiece.
And Paragon, Man Immune Complete, Essence Reaver in inventory, 2 items on the Ezreal. This champion is a ticking time bomb, and with how juiced up it has been, I think that timer is starting to wear pretty short, and it might be Yukino's time wearing pretty short as he's potentially caught out, but will get himself out. We'll just queue away. And yeah, both teams kind of playing on a razor's edge here, looking for picks, looking to be aggressive as this game continues to break open into that mid to late game stage.
Yukino, he wants to do his own bush jump out here, but he doesn't have any friends with damage behind him. Frozen Titan now potentially could
Frozen
be
Titan's
cut off.
caught.
Has to flash forward. He wants to kill. Spouting Despair with Ignite. The lockdown finally comes through. Nearly an outplay, but a gray screen comes through for the CG mid laner.
Honestly, respect to Frozen Titan for going for a play like that. I love the aggression. He knew that there was a chance he could maybe get a kill, but unfortunately, it was flash available for Flo Khan. Yeah, without flash, that Hoi was most likely going to see a gray screen along with the Karma. But yeah, just speaks to the level of damage that this champion is starting to deal, and they only have 1 item, Slayer.
It's disgusting. Both these 2 champions do too much, in my opinion.
Vile.
But nonetheless, it makes for great television, so we've got that going for us. Certainly is unfortunate for CCG right now that, you know, 2-1-5 on the Sejuani. Yeah, you know, it's nice for Yukino. He's utilizing it well to get pretty tanky. He's getting towards 2 potential items. But how much nicer would it have been to have maybe one of those kills on this way? Only 0-2-1 is, oh my god, EU Red.
Whoa.
Killer Instincts into all of Cloud Gaming. He now has to flash out, gets a good Shrelia shield. Depth Charge is used defensively, but Diamond's just going to chase him down. The Ghost isn't enough. No, the Mantra Q sinks through. EU Red's mistake is going to cost CCG so much more because Trevor's now going to get dunked on. Here comes the 50-50, the dunk contest. Oh, he didn't even dunk. Come on, he ruined the line. Kill nonetheless for Yao Yao. Mistake CCG.
EU Red with a reckless level throw there, especially because Dragon is about to spawn. This could have been soul point for CCG Slayer, but it was completely thrown away by the Killer Instinct, and now 2 members down. This Dragon is gonna be picked up by Clown Gaming. They deny the soul point, and it is going to be an advantage for them.
Ooh, and now look at this. They're able aggressive to go for Yao Yao under the turret, but the rest of Cloud Gaming comes back to the aid of their top laner. Crimson having to flash out. Spouting Despair saves him. But look who's on the wrong side of the rift now. Yukino, he's throwing up the thumbs up, but he might as well be dead. Eats a true shot barrage, and this wacky game continues as Paragon nearly gets picked. Severing Bolt nearly gets him. Flash away. This is the only reason he's still alive. And misstep after misstep is the definition of this mid-game.
Luckily, though, no kills going over to CCG there. Oh, I might have spoken too soon.
Another flash has to be used defensively. And those severing bolts from this way are doing so much. Cloud Gaming, they can't afford to be near this turret. Another Dredge Line 6 from Trevor. Silver, you cannot throw up the ice shield for long. EU Red picks up the kill.
Whoa, whoa, don't recall there. Yeah.
Oh, EU Red!
EU Red!
He jumps all the way into the middle of Cloud Gaming, gets the shutdown. He's sure as goodly dead. And Paragon will trade it. This guy just loves to jump halfway across the screen.
EU Red looking for the kill. I think he knew it was a one-way trip, but he didn't care. He just wanted the kill. He wanted the gold. Will pick up a Clawfield's Warhammer with that, but now, more importantly, has the Terminus available. So 2 items now on this Kaisa. E-Red going to start to hit very hard. Going to be difficult to build against, too, now that that mixed damage is going to come through for this Kaisa as well. But yeah, EU-Red, these past few minutes really feels like there have been a lot of oversteps from this Kai'Sa in particular, going for kills that are just a little too out of reach. And they have cost CCG quite a lot of gold in these past few minutes. And we'll have to see how they can recuperate and come back, sort of rein in that aggression.
I will say, you know, the aggression obviously is given a lot of kills over, but in the background, it has allowed them to take a lot of these neutral structures and get, you know, lesser known gold leads, right? You know, you see Crimson, he's up 50 CS. He's halfway to a Flame Horizon over Yao Yao because he's just been constantly shoving topside in, which, by the way, he claimed both turrets. CCG now have they had a 4-0 turret lead before that bot side fell, and that's partly why, despite the kill discrepancy, they're kind of comfortably up in gold.
But my big worry for Crimson, obviously, yeah, he's doing great on the side lanes. He is able to take down these turrets so easily. But Slayer, he doesn't have TP. If a fight breaks out and this Fiora isn't there, if a 4v5 fight is on the horizon here for the CCG squad, it will continue to be a 4v5 with Fiora having to crawl over the entire time. And that might be too late at this point. This is a game of inches and seconds, and those seconds do matter.
Yeah, and we're getting more fighting. Damons is actually just caught.
Red
grabs that one. Dunk comes across on Yukino. He'll get shut down the other side. Flashback bot. Frozen Titan has to flash from another great Trevor Dredge line. Fighting breaks out all at once. Then a league special.
But no objectives on the map to really take Dragon. Not spawning for about another minute and a half. Baron is up and available, but we just passed the 20-minute mark. We're only at 23 minutes, and neither team really comfortable enough to go for that threat and that objective take yet, so they are just going to be left with the gold of those kills. Not the worst thing in the world, but not able to be accelerated in any way.
Going back to that, you know, teleport conversation, I love this adaptation from Clown Gaming. You can see they're having Yao Yao, who also doesn't have teleport, stick with mostly the team, and they're confident with how powerful this Karma is. The Frozen Titan can match Crimson in the side lanes, so you have the teleport advantage, even though your top laner also is supporting TP. Great recognition to try and give yourselves that numbers advantage you were talking about.
And it completely cuts off CCG if there's a fight to be had, because you have Frozen Titan, he's able to get to the fight immediately. Crimson, though, is not. But that also comes with inherent risks, right? Leaving Crimson on a side lane, if somehow you lose the fight or you go even, there goes one of your towers, or maybe even potentially two of your towers. And in this case, two of your towers most likely means an inhibitor gone. So it is a trade that Clown Gaming have to be very, very conscious of if they choose to go for a fight, that they might lose objectives and towers and structures in return.
Clown Gaming seeded 20th in this qualifiers despite making the GSL after their roster switches. But they are in prime position to potentially get to the GSL again, but not if Frozen Titan gets picked this easily. It's way too easy of a combo for Yukino, and Crimson grab that kill. The side lane pressure adding more here for Cloud Gaming, and Trevor looks to push it more. Silver eats a dredge line, but that's the Teki Braum. He wants all the damage, but EU-Red jumping forward will find the pick. Following despair on the Damons forces the rest of the squad back, and EU-Red is unleashed. Yukino's unleashed as well. Yao Yao flashing back towards the turret. Doesn't get a pull under his structure. CCG are piling up the pressure minute by minute.
They managed to pick up two, and they're going to say, we don't even need the Dragon. They're maybe just going to look to burn down the Baron, and with Crimson on a side lane, you're going to have to spend at least one or two members trying to deal with this pick, and you can't spare a lot of members. Your members that were down in that last fight, they're still respawning, so a massive numbers advantage is helping CCG out so much here at both points of the map, and Baron is just going to be burned down. Diamonds can't help here.
They're stretched too thin. CG, they can't do anything. I mean, Yao Yao has to stay here for this inhibitor turret, and now this Fiora has Baron. I love to talk about how every team can know how to play a team fighting comp, but this is where the true teams sing loudly. When you can split the map, play this 4-1, and with Crimson, CCG might just have a window to win this one. Clown Gaming, though, they're going to try and even that Drake count.
They are. They managed to get themselves the Drake, but the question becomes at what cost? Baron is available for all the members of CCG, and you can see that they have completely taken over this top and mid lane. with the solo laners in that top lane and the rest of the members in that mid lane. And EU Red looking for a kill!
He pops him easily. Paragon dead. CCG rolling. Frozen Titan is really starting to eat the weight damage. Severing Bolt nearly finds that kill. Base going to be broken open. Crimson Feelers, no immortal man. Certainly not Silver and Diamonds. Dashing forward as Yukino at his side. Grand Challenge dropped. Silver soon to fall. The parry points sing through. CCG, they're not messing around this time. They know they have to make the GSL stage, and they might just do it with this final push towards Cloud Gaming's Nexus.
And it's CCG. They had a hiccup in the last game, but a dominant performance in this one, especially toward the late game. It'll net them the win. Silver and diamonds, it does not matter. All this Clown Gaming squad are going to see are the red rubies of the defeat screen. And it is CCG moving on to the top 16.
Certainly the expected results. It still feels nice to have gotten there, especially with one more game at large. And, you know, there were even more really good bright points here, Quacks, because, you know, there were a couple suspect ultimates there from EU Red. But overall, this bottom lane, you know, which they had to make a late substitution to put EU Red in here. No Instinct, certainly in my mind, bounced back after getting slapped around a bit by Inori B and Gentle Hearts Gaming.
Certainly. Honestly, kind of a statement game there from EU Red. Had a few hiccups, like you mentioned, Slayer, but managed to reel it back in with the team. Was so good at supporting these killer instinct, these more aggressive moves coming out from EU Red toward that late game, and it netted them advantage after advantage. And they managed to find the game with that controlled aggression. And now, because of it, they're on the next stage of this qualifier. They are going to be moving on to the GSL, but they got one final match to play. They're 3-1 now, but it is we are going to have to see if they will be 4-1. And I think while we wait to see what team they decide to go up against, or rather what team they are seeded to go up against. Oh, do you have the team, Slayer?
I do. They will be taking on the
Drum
other
roll.
3-1 squad. It is Fly Family that will be playing them, the number 8th seed. So it's 3 versus 8 to see who can really get a better spot in that GSL group stage. And I know that will be a really fun one. I'm pretty sure Hawk is covering.
That's exciting.
I'm pretty sure Hawk is covering Fly Family's games as well over on Salty Runback. But for now, from the CCG side, we will be standing by on the, you know, very familiar Be Right Back screen. But when we get back here on air, we'll be figuring out which one of these two top 10 seeded squads by the committee is going to have a much better spot when it comes to that good old GSL bracket. Until then, stick with us.